love Chobani flips. They're delicious.
What the fuck is wrong with your yogurt?
It's delicious. But anyway, I said to Casey, I said, that was Spartacus' mom. And she was like, what? And I said, a kid at David's table came.
Wait, did you say this on a hunch?
No. I watched her come in. She caught my eye. I watched her come in, and then I was intrigued, so she walked her son over, and Shocker sat down there, and she was like, she introduced her child to the teacher, and she said, hi, this is Spartacus. And I was like, man, reminds me of that thing you do. So,
I am
to bring this all back full circle with your jacket, right? So, I said to a buddy of mine at work today, I said, I don't mind people. I don't like whatever people do or wear or what they do. It doesn't bother me. I don't care, right? Do you, as long as you're happy, right? As long as you're happy, not physically hurting somebody or like emotionally toying with people for fun. Hey, do you, right? I mind when people go out of their way to be weird and then sit back and look at everybody like I dare somebody say something.
Dude. Son, here's the thing. First and foremost...
Is that wrong? Am I
No. First and foremost, I just want to say, ladies and gentlemen, and all other folk, welcome to the Rookie Artist podcast. I am on the phone right now with my big brother Dave. He can't probably see me, but he can see me a little bit.
I can see you a little bit.
Big brother Dave. Y'all met Big brother Mike? Big brother Dave is the second in the trio. Brother Dave, say what's up to the folk.
Hello, folk. How is everybody?
So if it sounds a little weird, it's because he is on his way home, stuck in Atlanta traffic, because he is stationed down in Fort, what is it?
It's actually an Air Force Reserve base down here in Atlanta, Georgia.
Air Force, and if anybody knows anything about the East Coast, it's full of too many people. And there's especially pockets in this coastline, this beautiful place that we have the good fortune to be born and raised in, especially in the greatest state in the Union, Maryland, that we get the ocean. But what we also get is a shitload of people, and they're in pockets. And as you know, Brother Dave, they are in D.C., Philly, Baltimore's kind of minor, but Atlanta traffic is horrendous.
And they can't drive. I think if you live down here, if your license says Atlanta, Georgia, if you're a resident of this area, I honestly believe that it should be a yearly requirement for you to take a driver's ed class. At least a refresher.
No, but believe me, I've driven in too many places, and it's absolutely insane. But so, I have the good fortune to have Big Brother Dave on the show today on his way home. He needs a little entertainment, and plus we haven't talked in a while, and it's good to catch up. So we started the show off by talking about quote unquote weird, and that's a good thing. But here's Dave. Here's where I'm completely agreeing with you as a weird person. This is what's different from me than other people, is that I know at times I look and act and appear weird, but I don't look at other people when they look at me as if I'm an asshole, like they're the asshole.
Right, and I agree with you. You're very self-aware. You're very self-aware. But even with saying that, so again, I explained the situation because I have a terrible conscience, and I felt bad for thinking this about this person, right? Because I'm a 5'4", goofy-looking guy, so people could think I'm weird with some things that I may wear too, right? And I'm fine with that. But I felt bad because I thought a certain way. And I was like, and should I really feel bad? And then, honestly, I thought about you, and I was like, I have a buddy of mine. I told the guy I work with, I said, I said, he's a brother to me. I said, honestly, I said, he's my brother. I said, and he's a great guy. But by many accounts, somebody not knowing him would look at him on the surface and say, that's a weird guy.
Yo,
right? But I don't think you go out of your way to be weird. Like the jacket you're wearing right now. Somebody could say that's weird. Right? Right? Like you said earlier, you look like some out of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Band, right?
dude, hey, this is a gift. I'm rocking it. I love it.
Right? And as you should, right? But you didn't go out of your way and say, you know what? That's weird. I'm fine. If you saw a suit that would be considered normal by public definition of normal, and you liked it, I think you would wear it.
Hell yeah, I would.
Right, you don't go out of your way.
If I like something, I like something.
Right, like me. I like snappy stuff.
And
hey,
exactly.
People liking Justin Bieber and NSYNC, so be it. I don't know what to tell you.
Hey, don't knock the beef. He's got some party jams. I'm just saying. Hey, you just touched on something that I've told other people, and you may have heard it on the other podcast with Katie Hillman. But how many times you have defended me to other people? Because, like you said, if people from the outside look in and they say, "Oh man, that's a weird dude," but if you don't know me, I just look and act different than you. It's not necessarily weird. It's just weird to you. I just act different than you, what you're accustomed to, what your normals. Like, why would you act that way in public? Sometimes I feel that way to other people. I'm not above it, but I'm saying, like, there's some ways that people act that are annoying in public. I'm just silly in public, and especially, like, to embarrass or to, like, make fun of a time. But there are some people who are, like, who talk on speakerphone in public in the fucking grocery store.
Right, and that's annoying. I don't know if that would be...
I'm not saying that I'm that person. I'm saying, like, you've defended me numerous times.
Right, no, I've never... I don't know. I mean, I can't... Saying it this way sounds like I've defended you a lot. Sounds like it's a common thing. But I can't think of a number. Like I don't know. You know,
I'm not asking you for a number. I'm just saying, like...
But it has happened. And I've got to say, so when my wife and I know you don't use names, I know you know shit, but, when my wife and I, I'll just call her my Philly, but when my Philly and I first met, right, you remember we drove down,
Yeah, we had dinner at Fridays. Wasn't it Fridays when I first met Casey when she was pregnant?
Yeah, shocking, right? But so she was asking me, about you and everything, and explaining. And I'm getting a look, and the look is odd to me because I view you as very normal, like seriously, and that's what it's like. I said, I was like, well, why are you looking at me? She's like, is he like a hippie or like an artist or like what is he? And I was like, well, I mean, I don't know if you want to classify the guy, but I have no idea what you want to classify him as. I said he grew up with me, played sports. He's damn near identical to me in a lot of ways and 180-degree different in others. I mean, but that's not weird. And I told her, I said, in spite is not a good word, but not because of our differences, but with our differences. And this goes for anyone I think you would consider a true friend. Your differences, those don't matter. The differences don't matter. Right?
But they are important.
No, absolutely.
And that's what I think you're saying is that...
They're embraced.
Yeah.
I think it is. I think they should be embraced and they should be encouraged.
Mike is different than both of us in very many ways, in ways that... we couldn't try our entire life to have some of his qualities. Just like I couldn't try my entire life to have some of your qualities. But... I think that's one thing that always keeps this interesting. Is that however long the distance of time or distance of space, anytime that we're together, especially when it's for a longer period of time, say for like, week plus, especially with your situation now, month when you move back, plus, like life. But the more that we're together, it's the more regular that it could be, even though we're vastly different in half of our spirit.
Absolutely. And there's something that I don't know if I heard it on a podcast that you had done with Mike, or if we were talking about it last time we were in town. But Mike has always talked about small talk, right? For people, he's just not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of small talk. Hey, how you doing? I'm good. How's your day? Oh, great. So how's work? Good. How the kids? Oh, they're good. And then what? All right, man. I'll tell you. Take it easy. I'll be late. So, with us, and it's the way it is for me. With us, it doesn't matter if we see each other once a day, once a month, whatever. When we do connect, there is that level of catching up, right? Of catching up small talk.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's small talk. It's genuine. Like if I say to you, hey, how's the wife? I'm genuine.
That's a small, deep question.
Right, exactly. I want to know how everything's going, how things are, how's life, everything. So, but after the initial small talk, and like you said, that could take place over the course of 4 hours at a party, a birthday party for our niece, or they could take place via 45-minute phone call. But the time after that is typically awkward for people. I think and again, just for me, we settle into a groove where our similarities are peaked, our interests are peaked, but the conversation is so fresh and so new because of our differences all the time.
Oh, I know what you're saying. You're saying, I get what you mean now. Like, the small talk in the beginning is a genuine interest in the daily life. But then say, for example, you ready?
Ready.
Say, for example, any kind of political, religious, or say a Mr. Colin Kaepernick situation. Anytime that arises,
Right.
like there's 3 people, 3 plus. I mean, obviously we have a larger circle, but it's like 3 plus, genuinely having a conversation with the utmost sincerity, respect for the other person and the other person's thoughts and opinions, because we know that these aren't opinions just randomly pulled out of nowhere. They're thought about. Like, that I believe that it's wonderful that we disagree because we see things differently, but also we feel comfortable enough. I think there's an issue now where people, I guess I feel it more or come in contact with it more because of my job, but I feel that we don't really have, as a whole, people to come together and talk with. So for an example, the people who wrote the Declaration of Independence, right? You hear them glorified, and maybe they are, and maybe it was actual fact that they got together, sat in a bar room in groups of people, and hashed things out with respect to the other person's intellect, also their person, while disagreeing with them.
Well, you have a couple of things with that. So I think one of the last things you said is super important. With respect to the other person's intellect, right? And I think going back to what you first said with regards to, you see it a lot in your profession, right? So within your profession, you meet tons of people, right? And you have that initial small talk, that chit chat, right? You have that. But once you get into a deeper conversation, whether it be political based, racially based, whether it be the Colin Kaepernick situation currently, or your love or dislike for a sports team, that doesn't matter. Your opinion is going to be your opinion, and you're going to believe in it wholeheartedly, right? That's like your opinion. Whoever you're speaking with is going to believe the same thing about their opinion, and they're not going to have much insight into you or where your opinion is coming from. Your opinion, they have to take it at face value, right? There's no insight as to, well, why did my service, or why did same thing with, I think, social media. Social media is rampant with one-sided point of view that people sit there and they will fight and they will fight and they will fight, and it will be a one-sided point of view. And when they read somebody else's comment or complaint or ignorant post, they take it very much at face value. But some of them are. Maybe I tend to try to think of where somebody's coming from. So if you say something, I try to think to myself, okay, well, why is he saying that? Where's he coming from? And do I agree with him or not, and why? You know, I try to put myself in their shoes, and we can't do that if we don't know what shoes they wear.
Isn't that weird? Why can't we just take a second just to look down and see what kind of shoes somebody's got on?
Oh, look at my shoes right now.
Yo, stop. Do me a favor. Stop. Jesus, they're silly. Stop, dude.
I'm coming from an indoor soccer game.
Anyway, stop looking at the camera so you don't crash. I can't have that on my contract. But no, like, so that's a beautiful point, because I think that is a true marker of at least giving someone the time of day just because they're a person, to have respect for their intellect, until you find out either that they're not a person of a caliber that you want to be around, which is fine because everybody's different, or that they don't have much intellect in what they're talking about, so therefore the conversation's kind of moot.
Correct. And believe me, and you run into tons of people. I run into tons of people. And I'm not saying you can't gain value from people who I believe don't have intellect or knowledge on a topic, but they have value mouth about it. Like, I don't make a blanket judgment. I try not to make a blanket judgment about a person based off of one topic or one disagreement that we may have. Look, we all, everybody on this earth has some level of prejudice against everybody else.
Well,
whatever that, look, everybody is raised differently. Everybody is told something by somebody who they care about or dislike. Like, I'm not saying that people, what I'm getting at is, if people understand their prejudice or where their opinion is coming from, and don't think of the word prejudice as racial. Just
you prejudge.
Prejudging, exactly.
When you presume, you assume beforehand. It's the same word.
No, absolutely. But with people being prejudiced or having some level of prejudice or bias, I think, like we said, going back, not knowing where somebody's coming from and not taking the time to understand them can get you in trouble and make it look like, at face value, this person doesn't have knowledge about the topic that we're talking about and can be easily be dismissed.
True. I appreciate when people are. Here's the thing. I don't get offended. I don't know. Like, I don't take things that seriously enough to, like, be upset about it that harshly. But I'm not dismissing somebody who does get their feelings hurt for a legitimate reason. Like, hey, how come you're picking on me because of something that I can't help? Okay. But on the other hand, not everything is that. So here's what let's talk about blanket statements. This is one thing that you. So, ladies and gentlemen of all other folk, I've known Brother Dave. Wait, you're 34. I'm 33. 28 years plus at least. And so I call him my brother because his family's my family. My family's his family. When we greet each other's family, we call them by mother and father. We don't call them by any other name. It's a beautiful thing, and I'm very proud. I mean, we go back, old neighborhood and whatnot. So we've known each other for a very long time. And he's had a very big impact on my life, which is one reason why I wanted to, have him on the show. And I got kind of lucky, and I called him at the right moment. But he can be, because this is one reason why I call him my brother, because only family can get under your skin the way that Brother Dave can. And that's only family can do that. And so there's certain things he's done over the period of our I don't know what the fuck it is, our familyhood. And there's certain things that he said that just stick in my head. And one of the things, for a good example, before I mention something, one example is, say, be better. Okay, well, it's you didn't do good enough. Don't cry about it. Be better. Like, that's truly something that I use. Be better. Just, if the painting didn't come out properly, if the words didn't come out properly, if the handwriting was sloppy, if the song structure was sloppy, be better. Do better. Strive for better. Why not? I mean, if you're doing it, why not do it with a purpose and do it with quality? Correct?
Absolutely. I agree with you. Be better.
So, that's one good thing I've gotten from you. One thing that has boggled my mind is when you say things like blanket statements. You're not a fan of blanket statements. And I know what you mean by blanket statements, but I'm going to tell the people what my interpretation of blanket statements are. So when you make a blanket statement, that means that you say people of a certain blank do blank all the blank.
Right.
In a situation. Just for example. But
very vague example, but we'll go with it.
Well, okay. Every time it rains, it blanks, and then blanks. Right? Because obviously... Wait. Because you have an issue with that because obviously that's not true. Something isn't... What's that?
Because there could be outliers.
Exactly. Because in every instance... There are many options for an outcome. There are many outcomes that could be possible in every instance.
Right.
Here's my problem when you tell me that you have a problem with blanket statements that I make. Because one, as we just talked about, you know me, and when I'm telling you that that every time something happens, something else happens. That's obviously a blanket statement. I'm telling you this because it's my experience.
Right, and I know where you're going with this. I understand what you're saying. I do. I really do. And for the most part, if you, like I said, I know you. I've been here for 28 years. No Mike, right? We know each other very well. If you're making a blanket statement, I assume. I would even venture to go much farther with the word assume and say, I know you don't mean every person that you're speaking about.
Yeah.
I know that. I know what you mean in a generalization, right? But for me, like with all blanket statements, here's one that should not be controversial, right? I'm not a big fan of controversy. So, everybody from Baltimore loves Old Bay. Right? That would be easy for me to say to people down in Atlanta. While I'm down, oh man, everybody in Baltimore loves Old Bay. Right? But it's not, I mean, let's be realistic. It's not true. Right? Some people may hate that. Right? And it's as non-controversial as I can be. Right?
I mean, that's a good example. I get it.
Right.
I get it. And that is true because I've met people here who don't like crabs. How in the world can you be from Maryland and not like Maryland-style steamed crabs?
Here's a blanket statement. Unless you're allergic to seafood, people who don't like crabs from Baltimore are weird. That just shattered everything I said in this whole podcast.
No, hell no, because that is true. Like, that don't like them. It's not that they can't, yeah, like you said, no allergy, like, all right, it's a pain in the ass to pick. But if you don't like them, you ain't never have crab meat and say, what? Get the hell out of my face, man. I don't understand that shit at all.
That meat is quality meat.
Dude, I would choose that over anything else. Did you just pull up in a garage?
I did. I mean, I'm in my driveway. You're good, though.
All right. You can go in and see your family. It's 8 o'clock.
I ain't nobody worried about them.
Oh, my God, son. So look at my face. You know what this means?
Yep. What do you know?
That means don't say nothing.
Oh,
All right?
I know that.
Wait, but I do want to tell you that I don't mind saying, like, talking about it. Just don't say.
Right.
I'm so unbelievably happy.
No, I mean,
I don't know.
again, going back to the knowing you, right? Normally, when people say that, oh, I'm so unbelievably happy, and other people are like, oh, I can only imagine how you feel, right? No, I know how you feel, right? I do. I'm not assuming. I know how you're feeling right now. And that elation, that happiness, that joy, that surrealism will be lined with fear. It'll be lined with skepticism. It'll be lined with hope. But I can tell you from experience, everything you've experienced in your life, 33 years, does not even begin to describe what you will feel when it happens.
I want to share something because I think that this is very important. Because there's been some instances lately that have happened personally, like not personally to me, but personally to people I know, friends I know. There have been some recent, rather famous musicians who have just recently killed themselves. I want to touch on this because I don't think this is something that you know. First of all, turn your volume down just a little bit. Just so you can still hear me. But,
Yep.
Okay. So, one thing that is in a way epic is that Kristen has saved my life twice. The first time was right after I met, and I was going through seasonal depression, and I had just got the DUI, and I had just moved home, and I was living back with my parents, and I was 26 years old, and I had been through 2 shitty relationships, and then one of my brothers has gone away, and the other one's mad far away now, even though I can see him, and I had a shitty job, and everything all of my thinking was clouded with, I am just nothing but a piece of shit. She wouldn't leave me alone. The first time.
That's amazing.
I don't know why. And then fast forward to a year and a half ago, where I almost ended it all again because I seemingly had everything that I ever wanted, but now I didn't know how to treat it, and that fear and anxiety just overtook me.
Mm-hmm.
And I dealt with it by not dealing with it, and by compounding it more and more and more with more and more and more booze, just
it doesn't go away.
It never does, and that is the worst thing that you can ever do is to just try to drink it away because it doesn't work at all.
Yep.
And she looked me in the face, and she gave me an ultimatum, and I realized that it wasn't worth losing. I didn't know what I had yet, but I know that that's what I didn't want to lose.
Right.
And then to come to this point where we're at right now, even though it's not, I don't know, it obviously when doctors say something different, it's a little more concrete, I guess, scientifically.
Right,
but it doesn't take away from the knowledge, one, and the joy, two.
Right.
I almost didn't make it here. I almost wanted to throw it all away.
Yeah.
No. This is I as I told Brother Mike earlier. I was looking for places to dispose, and now I'm to a point where I just created something with somebody who is so unbelievably worthy of greatness, and so that's what I must strive for.
Right, and let me tell you that a couple things with what you just said. So you're 100% right, right, with the lows that you've been through in your life, right, and now seemingly you're the pinnacle of your happiness, right, is happening right now. There are going to be more lows, right? There just will.
Well, that's life, and I know that now.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And it's important. It's so important, I think, for us to understand that and to fight through those lows. To fight through those lows, and what you say all the time, what you preach on this podcast, is embrace the middle. Well, when we're born, that's the beginning, baby, and when we die, that's the end. But life is the middle, and we got to embrace it. There ain't no giving up. There ain't no stopping. You know what? If we get down in the dumps, call a friend, go have a drink, cuss, moan, complain, do anything you want. But when you wake up next morning, life's still there. Everything you built is still there. You have an opportunity to make things right. And like you said earlier, hey, if you weren't good enough yesterday, be better today.
Yo, I mean, if you got a chance. Like a lot of people say, "Oh man, if I would only just start working out." Start working out. Yo, do five push-ups in your room.
Yep.
You know, do 5 squats. Go for a walk.
Right. So I've been on this. This no carb thing. Did I tell you that?
You mentioned it, yeah.
Right. So I with the whole thing going on with my neck back in like January, February, I haven't been able to run. Right. So I was the heaviest I'd ever been. I was up to 173 pounds. Right.
Jesus.
I know. Well, actually, when you guys saw me at our niece's birthday,
yeah,
I was probably 170. I think I had lost 3 pounds by then, but I was about 170.
And let the people know just how tall you are, sir.
I'm 5'4", so
170 shows up.
Right, absolutely. So, and by Marine Corps standards, I'm considered obese. Right.
Damn, what?
Right. Now, don't get it twisted. I still run a first-class PFT. I'm still
obviously so.
But I was very unhappy. That's the heaviest I've ever been in my life. So now doctors tell me, hey, look, you can't run. And I'm like, well, that sucks. Can I work out? They're like, nope, you're gonna hurt yourself. Damn it. So I had to do something. So I said, you know what? Let me just stop eating carbs. And I just told myself, look, I'm not dieting. I'm not going extreme or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not going to eat carbs. And I just started it one day, and one day turned into 5 days. 5 days turned into 2 weeks, and then I didn't want them anymore. And not only did I not want them, I kind of felt good not eating them. Like I feel proud of myself, you know. And so I work with reserve Marines, right? I'm active people. I work with the reservists. I had a guy come in this past weekend. He was like, hey, that's what I'm right. I was like, hey, what's going on? He's like, man, you look skinny. I said, you have all. Go on.
That's terrible.
So I'm back down. I'm down to 158.
Nice.
And I feel great. I actually just left the indoor soccer game. I'm 34 years old. And I'm out there running with kids, you know, with 20-year-olds. And so we did get our butts whooped 7-1. But, you know, we're going to...
What can you do? Wait, you were just saying something. Carbohydrates. I was gonna say something, goddammit, and I fucking lost the thought. Carbohydrates, not crazy dieting, exercise. Oh, motherfucker. Oh, here's the weird thing. Like, I was thinking about your, as you were talking about that, I just got the thought back. As you were talking about that, I wanted to tell the people for, like, you're in my opinion as a sports fan, and I think you would be remiss to say this, or you wouldn't be remiss to say this, or say Mike would certainly agree with me. I would say that you're probably the most naturally athletic because you eat like you're 6'4", dude. Because like, and that's why you put on weight when you. Like if you didn't realize about yourself that you were losing weight or you were gaining weight and you just kept eating, you would get big.
Oh my God. Yeah.
You would get big because you're just like you just pound food, but you also constantly exercise and keep up your fitness. And that's one thing with like you're one example of something that I kind of model myself in a way after, as far as like fitness. Using your body while you still have it, and especially with what's coming up. Like, I'm no spring chicken, and especially when it gets about the time when, 15, 16, 17 years from now, I want to be able to run. I want to be able to go.
Yep.
And that's very important for me, especially, like I said, like, I didn't take care of my body in my 20s, man. I don't.
So you're going to have to, so the biggest thing, I always get into it with Boog all the time because he's like, did you pause me?
No, I got you. Go ahead.
Okay. So Boog always, we always have good competition. He's 12 now, and he's always like, "What's up, old man? I see your bald spot," or he's joking with me or whatever. And my comeback is always, "Oh yeah, racing."
That's mean.
Hey, I don't know what to tell you, man. Be better.
Be better. Yo, get faster. I don't know what to tell you.
That's what I tell him. Hey, if I'm old racing, we'll see how old I am. So I've only got a few more years to use that excuse on him. Now Nugget will be. I'll have him a couple more years. But Boog, I definitely. He's getting there, man. He's fast, dude. He's 12, and we were out the other night. We were playing baseball. Him and I were playing catch, and his friend's dad came out, and we started throwing a football around, and threw a pass to David, and he juked this kid and just took off for it, and boy's dad was like, "Man, he's fast." he wanted me to come sign him up for his football team, but I thought that, look, I'm a big fan of letting him make decisions within. I give him kind of his left and right lateral limits, and then I allow him to make the decision within there. So anyway, the guy wanted to play football, and I said, "It's up to you, bud." I said, "But football's during soccer season," and he said, "No, he doesn't want to stop playing soccer." So I respect the kid. I told him he can do whatever he wants. But it's his choice. If he starts something, he's going to finish it.
Totally,
Yeah,
dude. That's and I mean, as a father, like, so when the rookie wife and I were contemplating children and whether or not we should like start and how sincere we were about this, and I mean that's a serious thing that a married couple should talk about. It's like not to be taken lightly,
Right.
And I started thinking about all the fathers that I knew, mine, yours, Big Mike, my Uncle Doug, grandfathers. I started thinking about all the qualities of a father, all the things that I would like to see, all the things that I liked that I saw in all of them. And to be honest with you, man, like, you have like 9 out of 10 star qualities. Like, I'm not being funny, and I don't mean that in any kind of condescending way. I mean that, like, you mentioned that you're 34 and you have a 12-year-old son. Have you ever thought about that?
No.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, here's the deal. Like, I remember when you introduced me to your wife and you said, "Hey, yeah, this is my wife and she's pregnant." Like, I mean, obviously I knew, I knew because you told me on the phone, because we were separated by miles. But when you introduced me to her, like, that was the first time that I met her, when she was pregnant. And I remember thinking, wow, he's so young. But now, as we're not old, but we're older, obviously, I think back, I spend a lot of time looking back at how I acted and how I reacted to certain things. I don't know what I would have done. But what I look at in you is this. You were 22 years old. You were in the military. You were now a father, and your personality kicked in right then and said, this is the situation. I'm going to do everything I possibly can to do the right way in this situation. And you've made so many right choices from the outside. And I'm not saying easy choices. And I'm not saying that what you've done and what you do with a family of 4, and I don't know that psychological weight and physical energy that it takes. But from the outside looking in, like I guess I have a little bit of a bias, but you have so many admirable qualities that you really inspire me going forward.
Well, I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart, and I think about that all the time. I do. I tell this story. And do you have a second? Do we have a second? I don't know how long you're going.
Hey, I feel like I have the fear that I'm holding you up. So don't.
No, you're not holding me up at all. You're not holding me up.
Keep going. I'm not going away.
So let me tell you a story. I was hey, before you go getting naked in that room, understand there's a mirror behind you.
Shut up. I'm back, dude. Calm yourself.
So, what you
Don't tell
saying,
people what's going on in the compound. I'll tell people what's going on in the compound. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
I think about that. I consciously think about that all the time, what you said. And you'll realize, if you haven't already, that more eyes will be on you. And more eyes will be on every decision you make. Every decision. I'll tell you what I realized. So, I mean, I'm a big, I'll get to this in a second. I'm a big Superman fan, right?
Yep.
Have been all the way. Not that I'm a comic book guy or anything like that. But I'll tell you why I brought that up here in a second. So when I used to work at the mall, right, at whenever, or Eastport Mall, at Piercing to go, silly little kiosk in the middle of the mall.
Don't let the people. I'm not going to let the people know that you pierced my ears and that I cried. It hurt. Go forward.
I've penetrated you, my young man.
Yes, you did. You tag teamed me too with a chick that I had a crush on.
God bless it. I'll tell you.
I wanted to bang that chick so bad.
That sounds like one hell of a night.
Anyway, I'm sorry.
It's Black Friday. Probably, I don't know, 3 in the morning, 2:30, 3 o'clock. I'm going in to open up. I'm driving my tracker, and I live in Dundalk. I live over in the dog. I'm driving in. I got my coffee from Dunkin' Donuts on Wise Avenue, and I'm heading down to East Point, and I'm like, I'm just not feeling it today. It sucks, right? I'm just not in a bad mood, just tired. And I do not feel like going in. And I'm like, all right, well, who am I going? Okay, Steph's going to be there. And in my head, I'm like, oh, Steph's cool people. I like working with Steph. But Steph has said to me that she loves working with me, right? She loves because it's fun. So that jumped in my head, and I'm like, I'm talking to myself, driving down North Point Road, at work. And I'm like, man, Dave, you can't be depressed. You can't be all downtrodden. You got a responsibility to that girl who's looking forward to come to work with you to be in a good mood and to have fun and liven it up. So, dude, I'm like driving down the road. I'm like, let's go. I'm like rolling the window down. I'm like getting myself all fired up. I get to work. I'm like, all right, baby. So we have a good day, in there joking around, laughing, listening to music, just having a good day. But that's the first time it dawned on me that, and everybody's, I'm not saying me, everybody's like this. People look at other people, right, for help. It could be emotional health, it could be physical health, it could be mental health, right? Everybody goes through bad things. And like I said, you're going to see those, more eyes are going to be on you.
Yeah.
Every decision you make, if you choose to stay out late and go play soccer instead of coming home to eat dinner, just understand somebody is seeing that. Now, it's your job to portray and explain the why and everything, and it's it's completely fine. It's not a bad thing, but just understand eyes are on you. So to go back to what I was saying with the reason Superman is so important to me is not because he flies and all this other stuff, but because he's a symbol of hope, right? He always has been. It's documented throughout comic books and all this other stuff. But some people don't latch on to the whole what would Jesus do, and other people do, and that's fine. But for some people, when I want to be my kid Superman, I want to be that symbol of hope for them. I want to do the right thing even when it's not expected. I want to stand up for people. I want to do everything that I can in my power for them to make sure I'm setting the right example. And that goes with everything. That means tipping well when you go to a restaurant, treating people kindly, holding the door for people. It doesn't mean you have to freaking fly around the world and save it. It's just doing small things for people. And that day on Black Friday, before I had kids, that's when I realized other people look at me for inspiration. And that sounds very pompous. And I'm not saying me, but other people look towards other people for inspiration. And I seriously think about that all the time. All the time. And when I make mistakes, because I make tons of mistakes every day, I feel the weight of them because I feel like I let other people down. I feel like I let my kids down. I feel like I make bad things. I feel like I let you and Mike down.
You pause me, bitch.
No. That's what we call it.
So I want to give another window for the people to let them know why exactly and how exactly you mean to me, like what you do. Because what you just said was something that a lot of times there are people who hear what you just said and say, oh, that's just one, cliche, two, mindless self-help nonsense, just empty words.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen and all other folk, I always include them. Everybody that is.
Blanket statements.
All other folk. Just whatever, whoever you are, however you are. I'm just giving you a window in my soul. But what Brother Dave just did is that he gave you a true window of his soul because no one told him to be this way. No one encourages him to be this way. And when people say things to him about this, there's a notable discomfort in his physical and emotional well-being, and almost in a way he defends it because this is actually how he is, and he puts a lot of energy into caring, being kind, and these are rare qualities that I've noticed because I am in a very similar way. I show people kindness and respect from the moment that I meet them until they prove otherwise. And one thing here's an interesting way that separates us in a way. My fear in those instances, it kicks in when somebody says, "Oh, hey Casey, it's nice to see you. It's great to work with you today. It's nice to see you." Or when I overhear a conversation, "Oh, like I love working with him. He makes things calm and comfortable." And like I've won peer awards, which is weird. Like, stop thinking of me and like stop. But what separates you and me is that you said, "Hey, these people like me, so I have to be top notch." Now, more so recently, since I've gone through a bit of a psychological change, do I realize that I get to go in and see this person. I'll talk about this with them because I'm interested in what's going on. Like, I kind of like intake information so that I have topics to talk to people around so that it's genuine that I'm interested in them.
Right.
People don't understand that.
No, it's odd to people.
And when people say that that's fake, that's weird.
Hurt people out. Right.
Those kind of qualities are weird, like we were talking about earlier. That's insane to me. Like, I'm actually...
You know, speaking of... Hey, Brother Mike, right? He clubs me all the time. All the time. He's like, dude, what do you care about them dogs? Who cares? Nobody cares. And he's right. So I always, multiple times a day, throughout the night, all the time, I got you and him in my freaking head, arguing with me, telling me, yes, do that, or no, don't do that, all the time. I have conversations with you guys. When I'm about to fly off the handle at work and yell at people, like apparently I was very mean today, I was told.
People don't know. First of all, let me just interrupt you real quick. When people tell me that I'm fucking mean to them, they have no idea the kind of fucking harsh tone and quick words that I could fucking unleash on you. I'm not upset with you. My patience is one thing. Nothing angers me more for some reason than when people tell me that I'm upset.
Yeah, it's annoying when people tell me that I'm mean. I'm like, oh, I'm going to kill you. You know, I'm going to beat you with a stick because I'm not mean. But anyway, I digress. Work was interesting today.
So I can't imagine working strictly around Marines. Like,
what? It's annoying, man, because you have a job, right? You have a job. You go in and you do your job, right?
Yeah.
You leave, right? When you leave work at the end of the day, if somebody who you work with, right, barring any personal relationship for the most part, if somebody you work with leaves work, goes out tonight, parties, gets a DUI, gets arrested, and doesn't come in for 4 days, your only concern is you got to work extra shifts, right?
Yes.
For the most part, but barring personal relationships.
Totally.
For me, guess what? I get a phone call. I got to get up. I got to go pick Dum Dum up. I got to smack Dum Dum in the back of the head because he's an idiot, he or she. I've got to then be nice and counsel them. I have to help them out. I have to be firm and fair, and I should be. These are not bad things, right? I should, but that's the level of life. It's not work. It's not. It's life. So when I see these people at work who are supposed to be goddamn United States Marines, right? World's finest, America's 911, any cliche you want to put on them, right? And when I walk through a freaking locker room and I see shoes on the floor, when I see hangers all over the place, when I see wet towels piled up on the floor, and I send an email telling people to clean their shit up, or I'm throwing it away at 1600, I'm giving you 1 hour, I get people telling me I'm being kind of mean. Are you kidding me? I'm not your father.
Yo, can I just tell you, like, here's the thing. Here's what bothers me about what you said. Let's start at, I had to send an email. Like, you can't even talk to people face to face. What kind of like sick society we got, man?
Well, no, I've got 43 people that I'm responsible for.
I get it.
Across about 4 buildings. So
okay,
again,
I get that. I
could have called a formation and made everybody get over here, get in formation, and freaking I can yell at everybody.
Yeah, let's.
Or I could send an email and say, hey, do it on your own, but y'all got till 1600. Because when I go through, I'm going through with a trash can and get thrown away. And apparently I was being mean. So.
Son, I don't know. That would be aggravating to me. That would be aggravating like a motherfucker. But yeah, man. I have to tell you that even though it's kind of hard having the conversation with you on the phone. But I very much look forward to seeing you in person. And yeah, see, that's exactly like Brother Mike and I were talking about this earlier. Fucking like this asshole said to me because I told him like a really dumb idea, which I'll tell you later. Brother Mike said, "Hey, how come you don't go back into management?" And I was like, "Let me tell you something. I don't want to work 50 hours a week to be a complaint department.
Right.
And have to deal with more than one person's drama, and that one person's me. like, like that's psychologically taxing, and people don't get it. And I said, Mike, that's one of the reasons that I went down that dark hole in the begin with. Like, I took on a position that I didn't really want to do, that I thought was beneficial, but it wasn't.
Yep.
And so, like, I really did try to make it work, but ultimately, one, it wasn't for me, and two, I didn't know how to handle it. And so, again, with fear, instead of actually dealing with it, I pushed it down and pent it up.
Right.
And he was like, "Oh, I didn't even think about it that way." I was like, "Yeah, there's no way I would ever do that again, because like I'm looking to make a move, but I'm not quite sure yet what. But it's time." And this is one reason why I paint as much as I do and I write as much as I do, and that's because I believe that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. But I would also like to be doing something else that helps that. And I think I found a way, but well, fuck it, I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm thinking of becoming like a commercial painter, like interior painting. Like, I want to be surrounded by paint all day. I want to be able to practice. Okay, so like it's very Zen and very Buddhist to like rake a sand garden and do the same thing over and over. That's like Malcolm Gladwell. Do the same thing over repeatedly, and you become good at it where it becomes like your nature. I would like to spread paint like it's my nature, and I think that's not a bad idea.
So actually, talk offline. I know some people who have paint companies.
Are they Greek? It's like
I know some people.
Hey,
It's so stereotypical. Even if the shoe fits, you know what I'm saying?
hey, that shoe fucking fits, bro, and they got tassels on them. Here's Opa. Here's how I can say that and get away with it, because brother Dave, brother Mike, and I, we grew up in Greektown, and we're only one of us is half Greek, and it's certainly not brother Mike or I. And only half Greek, and I mean literally half. But
Is Mike even legal?
I mean, I consider him legal, so to me he's legal. Like, if he gets deported, I'll be mad.
I mean, he's married now. Kristen helped him.
Oh, dude, he's grandfathered in. Grandmothered in this circumstance. Yeah, and plus he's got an anchor baby, so it's all right.
Right, he's good.
What kind of shit you got me talking on my own podcast? See, I see what you're doing to me. These people don't know us.
You're being called racist.
I'm not racist at all.
First thing a racist person will say.
I didn't finish that statement, which is I have X amount of black friends.
Right, that's number 2.
Can I tell you though? Hold on, I'm thinking. I currently am only like, here's what makes me feel racist. That I only currently have 3 black friends.
Really?
Yeah, well, I don't like, the place I work doesn't really have any black folk. There's like one Indian girl. That doesn't count.
Yeah, I'm definitely the token white guy on my soccer team.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Latino?
Latino, black.
What, African?
Yeah.
Like actually African, like from Ghana. Yeah. Like people, dude, can I tell you, I love watching African soccer teams play. They're some of my favorite, like Ghana. I'd love to watch Ghana play.
He's good.
Morocco? Wait, yes. Morocco? I for some reason I thought South American country for a minute. I was like, that's racist. You can't get those two confused. Oh my god.
LA? Had to throw that in there.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just saying. We're just talking shit. This is a Google-free podcast. This is why I like it, because you don't have to know anything. You just have to be convinced of what you don't know.
Well, that's good. So I was talking earlier. I want to throw this in there real quick. So when you start making money on this podcast, you should get Halo Top to sponsor you, throw you some shekels, because Halo Top, because I'm on this no carb bit. If anybody out there listening is like dieting, Halo Top ice cream is phenomenal. I just found it the other day. Actually, my wife found it. She loves me, even though she has to deal with me all the time. Like, this is an early week for me. The game was actually at 6:30. Typically, the past 3 weeks, my games have been at 11. So I don't get home until 12. I shower and I'm getting in bed at 1. And then I have to get back up. She has to get up early in the morning. She takes care of the kids. She showers them. She bathes them. She gets them in bed. She does the whole mom bit. She's phenomenal. So even with all that, and as annoying as I am, she brings me home this ice cream because she knows that I have a terrible sweet tooth, but I can't eat anything right now. So anyway, go out there. I'm talking to you, Casey.
Let me tell you something. This sounds exactly like you playing that, and I have to call Halo Top.
We were talking about the cards.
No, I understand. I'm calling Halo Top and being like, listen, this is my brother. Like, I trust him more than anything. If he says it's good, I just want to let you know.
Now, I'll tell you, Arctic Zone is sold right next to Halo Top. Definitely not as good.
Really? Halo Top it is.
Halo Top.
Carb-free ice cream.
Carb-free. Now, it's minimal carbs. Like, each serving has like 3 carbs.
Damn.
$3,000. But here's the thing. It's kind of weird, right?
Just like this fucking conversation?
It's like Margaret from Papa's Friends. It's kind of weird. So, the thing with it is, you have to let it thaw out a little bit before you eat it. Because there's no, like, artificial softeners in it. So, it's really hard. You have to let it thaw a little bit sweet. But it's delicious.
Can I tell you... I have a big problem, and the rookie wife still hasn't figured this out yet. So here's a beautiful thing about continuing to grow with somebody, and then being like so like self-conscious and so self-aware sometimes as I am, and like I think too much.
Right.
The other day, I got really excited, and I brought her home breakfast. One of her quote-unquote favorite breakfast.
Uh-huh.
A sausage, egg, and cheese croissant from Dunkin' Donuts with some hash browns.
Quality.
And a medium coffee with cream and sugar. That's a great breakfast, right?
I'd go with the Dunkaccino, but
because anyway, we're not talking about that. Dunkaccino. It's not even a fucking cappuccino. It's a
good drink.
Never mind. A coffee I'm talking about. So I bring this home and I say, "Hey, I got your breakfast. Look at me winning," right? By the way, these kind of incidents happen all the time. And this is no joke. All the time.
It's going to happen even more often now.
Wait, I'm sure. So, I bring home this breakfast. "Oh, you got me breakfast." I'm like, "Yeah, I got the same thing for me." She was like, "Oh, word, that's so great." Opens it up, she's like, "Huh." I was like, "What?" "Huh, I'm like, what are you saying?" She's like, "Well, I mean, this is nice. I appreciate the thought, but you know I don't like croissants. They're too crispy." I was like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "I like biscuits." I was like, "Biscuits? Better take that biscuit shit somewhere else." There's only one substitution for a breakfast sandwich, and that's an English muffin, and that's the sausage, egg, and cheese McMuffin. That's the best thing that McDonald's has ever fucking made.
I agree with you wholeheartedly.
And that's just, give me those. That's why I'm happy about McDonald's breakfast.
I can have that. I can order it, but I gotta throw the English muffin like a frisbee because it's got carbs. I can eat the silly sausage and the
but even that shit is so good.
I know.
Anyway, so I fuck up like that all the time, dude. I have. Sometimes I forget if I even remembered. I don't did I even pay attention to the last 5 years? Like, what do you mean you told me you didn't like croissants? I would have remembered that.
Right.
So, ladies and gentlemen and all other folk, I want to thank Big Brother Dave for stopping in. I took up too much of his time. He's going in to see the beautiful family. And he's arguing with me right now, even though I'm talking, which I think is highly rude. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to give a shout out to Brother Mike, to the rookie wife, to X Tina, Big Dan Evans, my main man Sam. I got a show at the rooftop pool at the Radisson Hotel in Baltimore, Maryland, August the 13th from 5 to 9 p.m. Tickets are $25. There's going to be some sexy sexy ladies in some bikinis, and there's going to be some really cool art. There's going to be some really cool artists, and then there's going to be me. So y'all should come and check that shit out because it's going to be fly. Some wonderful music, beautiful scenery in the home city, the charm city, and I just want to say a very big special thank you and welcome to the podcast to my big brother Dave. I love you, brother, and
sir, I appreciate it.
I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your thoughts and giving people a little bit of a peek into more of the rookie world. So, this is the Rookie Artist signing off. You can hit me at the RookiARtist@gmail.com. That's TheRookiARtist@gmail.com. And I'll see you on Instagram or at the Rooftop Radisson, not in a bikini. Love y'all. So, that was a wonderful conversation with my brother, Dave. And I just want to thank him again from the very bottom of my heart. This is a joyous time in the Rookie and I wife's life. A lot of big changes that'll be made public very soon. But it was a wonderful conversation. And now you know a little bit about Brother Mike and Brother Dave and a little bit more about me. I hope y'all enjoyed this completely random but beautiful opportunity that just fell in my lap was being able to talk with him. So y'all have a wonderful night. Be safe. I love y'all.